Hi, I'm Representative Vincent-Buys, your state representative in the 42nd Legislative District. Thank you for tuning in to my legislative update. Legislators hit the ground running January 11 for the first day of the 2016 legislative session. Unlike last session, which was supposed to last 105 days and ended up going into triple overtime, we only have 60 days to finish our work. It's important to note that this is a supplemental budget year. This means we shouldn't increase state spending or make any major policy changes. The supplemental operating budget is designed for small adjustments to our biennial spending plan, and spending adjustments should only be made for emergencies and caseload forecast needs. In light of the need to be prudent with our spending, I'm disappointed the governor has called for a series of new taxes in his proposed supplemental budget this year. It's especially disappointing given that revenues have increased by nearly 10%. Again, I want to emphasize that this budget is only meant to make small adjustments here and there. While I believe it's important to have a discussion about funding our state's priorities and obligations, this is not the year to introduce new and major spending. In addition to passing a supplemental budget, we have a number of policy issues to tackle this season. K-12 education funding and addressing the state Supreme Court's ruling on McCleary is front and center. There's a bicameral, bipartisan group of legislators currently working on a solution that could satisfy the court and fulfill our obligations as outlined in the case. Though the court ruled that the state needs to take on more of the K-12 education funding obligation, it's also important that we address student outcomes. It does us no good to pour more money into education if we're not getting a return on investment we're aiming to achieve. In that same vein, we also have charter schools to deal with this year. The timing of the state Supreme Court ruling this past fall that invalidated state charter schools was terrible and unfair to families. Charter schools have been a great answer to families seeking effective education for their children, and I do not believe it is fair to take opportunities away from students who are in schools that are not meeting their learning needs. There's also the Department of Corrections scandal that has been in the news recently. The release of thousands of prisoners over a 12-year period is disturbing and has further eroded trust in state government. Sadly, 2 lives have already been lost as a result of the agency's error. It's unacceptable, and those responsible must be held accountable. While we have a great number of issues ahead of us, I'm confident we can finish the work on time. In addition to these issues, I continue my service as the ranking member on the House Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee. There are members in our community that follow this committee closely, as many of the issues deliberated on would directly affect Whatcom County. I'm sponsoring legislation this year that would benefit agriculture communities throughout the county. One of my bills would allow watershed improvement districts to apply for ditch cleaning permits on behalf of the farmers, whereas the county has been unable to process these permits in time in order to properly maintain ditches. This would relieve the county of some burden and would be of benefit to water quality. This session, I'm also continuing my work on the State Building Code Council. It's important to me that we push for flexibility in our codes that allow for safe and affordable housing, as well as reduce fiscal impacts where we can. And of course, we can't escape a conversation about the economic state of Whatcom County without talking about Alcoa. The recent news of Alcoa's curtailment hit our community hard and is leaving a lot of people and families' financial stability in question. I, along with Senator Doug Erickson and Representative Luann Van Werven, are working hard to ensure those who will be out of a job are connected to the proper resources they need to re-enter the workforce and make living wages. Thankfully, the curtailment has been stalled until the end of June, which means that more than 500 workers at the plant can continue to bring home paychecks as they continue to form long-term employment plans for the future. If you are someone who has been affected or going to be affected by the curtailment, I encourage you to please get in touch with me. There will be contact information at the end of this video for ways to reach me. I want to thank you for watching this update. I hope this is helpful to you and serves as a tool for you to stay connected to your state government. If you have questions about anything shared in this video, or have comments or ideas about anything before the legislature, please don't hesitate to get in touch with my office. It's an honor serving you.